Hi guys, welcome back. Now today I'm going to show you how to buy US stocks, Singapore stocks, Hong Kong stocks and China stocks all on your smartphone using Moomoo. Now in this video, you're going to see a few things. You're going to see how to do research, find the right numbers, find the charts on the stocks that you are keen on because there's so much to research on and so little time.
There's so much research to do, but so little time.
Now this video is sponsored by Moomoo and I'll end off with a Q&A.
But before we get there, let's start on the fun parts first. And what do you see over here once you've created your own login? You go to Me, you can actually change the nickname for yourself. I believe Moomoo would eventually provide more and more social tools. In future, maybe I can find a way to disseminate ideas and information if you're a follower. So do link up with me on Moomoo's platform also. Then the next part over here that I'll introduce to you is actually the free stock that they are doing right now as a promotion. Then the next is over here, how to actually find information very quickly using their platform. Look for things that concern you, especially stocks that you're keen to follow on. Now with that, let me demonstrate to you how to actually make trades as well as to do analysis using Moomoo's platform. So over here, you realize that I have actually a customized watch list, correct, called Top 15. And if you're keen to do one for yourself, look for the 3 lines at the top right. And you can actually create a list for yourself and add in any companies you're keen to follow on. So I have my own 15 list which I'll use to demonstrate to you. I'll be touching on Alibaba, I'll be touching on Microsoft, I'll be touching on Tesla in this demonstration. But before we get there, I'll also show you on Kimlee, which is a Singapore listed stock. So I'm a fan of Kimlee. I've actually done a full tutorial on Kimlee before. So if you're keen, look for links below on Kimlee. Kimlee is a simple business. And I actually do visit Kimlee as a customer every morning to buy my own kopi siu dai. And I'll use it to demonstrate how to actually do a trade. So simply press on the trade button, you get to this page over here. And just a quick tip, before you unlock the trade, I would suggest to select carefully on the quantity first that you're looking to buy or sell. Simply because I made the mistake before. That's why I suggest you select the quantity first. It can even be half of what you have. And then this speedometer over here helps you get to the amount very quickly. So these are actually very user-friendly tools within the platform itself. Then once you're done, simply unlock the trade. So in this example, I'll put a limit price that's way lower than what is trading on the market. And then if you're keen to buy at the market price, simply press on this right hand button and click on MKT price. So with that, let's move on to BABA, which is something that I've listed at the top of my watch list. So you know, Alibaba is really trending quite a bit right now. So if you're keen to invest to Alibaba, this section might help you. Ticker 998 is listed in Hong Kong, correct? And the difference between buying the Hong Kong ticker as well as the US ticker is the minimum quantity. For Hong Kong, minimum quantity is 100, but the US one allows you to buy 1 in quantity, so the starting amounts are lower. But of course, there's always a threat of delisting in US. So for myself, I've invested using 9988. So to buy, you realize that you also need Hong Kong dollars, correct? And if you click over here, you realize that there's nothing inside the Hong Kong margin account. And to top it up, let me do a quick demonstration for you. Go to trade, go to brokerage, and go to currency exchange. Now at this page, you realize that you can actually convert Sing dollars, which is possibly your starting deposit amount, and then you can select US dollars or Hong Kong dollars. Now once you've done the conversion, you realize you get a notification that tells you it's done in an hour's time. But for my experience, it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to clear. So it really is pretty instant. And similarly, if you are looking to convert to US dollar to buy Microsoft or Tesla, this is the same step. So with that, let's move back to Alibaba again. Let me demonstrate to you what I look at in the business itself. Over here at the top, analysis. You can go to the fundamental analysis of Alibaba. And right now, on Moomoo itself, you can see very quickly the price earnings chart. And what I typically like to do is look at a company's long-term price earnings chart. And it simply can be done by changing it to a 3-year price earnings chart. Now this outcome shows that on a long-term basis, Alibaba is likely undervalued simply because it's trading at below 1 standard deviation. But again, price earnings is one matrix. It's not a 100% sure win factor. It just tells you quite possibly on a long-term basis that this company you're looking at is cheap. So to compare it further, look for valuations against competitors. And very quickly, the platform has suggested Tencent and showed you in terms of price earnings what Baba and Tencent are at currently. So if you want to add in JD.com, simply scroll over and search JD. Realize that JD is trading at close to the same amount of price earnings also. So all these 3 companies are pretty depressed on a long-term basis, Then the next step is to look at tools they have on the top, which are financial tools. Over here, you realize that Alibaba's business is largely in e-commerce, which is the core business that he has. Cloud computing is the number 2 contributor. And if you have followed this channel and look at the Alibaba tutorial I've done before, I've actually shared that cloud computing is the growing pie. And quite simply, that can be answered by changing to look at what happened in 2017. You realize that at that point of time, cloud computing is much smaller, correct? 4.21% only, which shows that cloud computing is growing very rapidly, Ali Cloud. So over here, you also realize key indicators of the stock itself. You can quickly see earnings per share, and you can even customize it to comparing against first quarter across different years. This will be first quarter across 2019, 2020, 2021, as well as 2022. So very useful, correct? So one glance, you get a lot of insights. And if you have questions from what I've covered so far, leave them in the comment sections. I'll help to pick up on them. So let's move on to a different company in terms of research. Let's look at Microsoft. Microsoft is pretty interesting also because they are also a big player in terms of the cloud. And if you look in terms of the fundamental analysis, you realize that Microsoft, when measured against price earnings, you realize that it's indeed trading at a high price to earnings across the years. And if we look in terms of financials for Microsoft, you realize that Microsoft is different from Alibaba. It's diversified in terms of its revenue streams. US is about half, and then half comes from the rest of the world. So in terms of earnings per share, Microsoft has also been trending up quite consistently. This over here shows earnings per share growth from 4th quarter 2020 all the way to 4th quarter 2021. So if we scroll down for Microsoft, you realize that earnings per share, you can see it over here. And what Moomoo's platform has actually collated is also analyst estimates, which is the orange line over there. You realize that Microsoft has beaten analyst expectations consistently, which reinforces it being a good stock. Now, how about for Tesla? You see that if you analyze it, you realize that it's measured optimally on the price to sales, PS. And quite simply, because Tesla has recently turned profitable, but on a year basis, it was previously losing money. So price to earnings would be a negative number. So it's measured on the price to sales. So if you're keen to find out more on NIO and XPeng and EV market, check out this previous tutorial I've done before. It can give you a quick update on the overall sector. Now, if we go on to financials of Tesla, you will see that Tesla's revenue is coming from US and China, these two dominant markets. I'll next move on to demonstrate to you how to actually make the deposits. Simply go to trade and you will see over here the deposit function on the top right. Click on it and you actually get to this page whereby you'll be invited to deposit via DBS, which is almost instant, or via another bank transfer. I actually did my transfers from OCBC and my experience was about an hour or so. So it's also within the day. And when it's time to take out monies from the account, simply click on brokerage, go to all, and look for withdraw button over there. Quite simple, correct? There are other features that I'll invite you to check on also, which includes the account statements at the bottom.
So if you're new to the platform, slow the video or pause at certain segments of the video to follow through this tutorial, and hopefully it's given you the confidence to start investing. So if you're keen, look for referral links below. I'll next move on to Q&A, which are questions that investors should really ask when embarking on a platform itself. So the first question is this Moomoo platform regulated? And this is actually what is mentioned on the platform itself. Is the capital markets service licensed by MES? So Hong Kong stocks are actually hosted by FUTU Hong Kong. Singapore stocks are actually hosted by FUTU Singapore. For US stocks, they actually work with interactive brokers. So everything is licensed. Hopefully that gives you the peace of mind. The second question is, why is it all margin accounts? I also had that curious question also. And what are margin costs if you happen to buy above the cash limit that you deposit? Now, if you buy within the cash deposit, you'll never trigger the margin, which is good. I always believe in trading or investing within your means. So if you can, avoid tapping on the margin account. And if you accidentally bought more than what you're supposed to buy, simply go with this. Deposit the amount of cash within the day and you actually save yourself margin costs. If you sell some stocks, there's usually a lag time of 1 or 2 days as highlighted over here. So the best way, in my opinion, to avoid any margin costs is simply to deposit the right amount of cash. Now, if you are keen on margin trading, then look for these details over here. For Hong Kong, it's at 6.8% per annum. For US, it's at 4.8%. Now, if you were to buy Alibaba, you can actually buy it in Hong Kong and US. So this is a difference if you are keen to trade margin on Alibaba, for example. And as always, if you are keen to do margin trading, always look for the terms and conditions. Be familiar with these questions such as risk of margin trading, such as margin calls, what would happen? The third question is, can you trade China A shares? Because that is a topic I suggested in this previous video. So indeed you can actually buy China A shares right now with this platform. The fourth question is there options trading already? The answer is yes. Options trading is now available on Moomoo platform, but in my opinion, options trading requires to have a short-term view of where the market direction is moving towards. And in my opinion, it's probably a deep topic and simpler if you're just owning the stock itself. Buy the stock, sleep well, own it with your cash, and let the ups and downs ride, because markets in the long-term direction move upwards. So last but not least, let's look at the costs if you are keen to use the Moomoo platform to do stock investing. The first part is Singapore market. You realize over here, transaction fee is actually very small with a minimum of $0.99. And there's actually a platform fee of minimum $1.50. The key part about this platform fee is that it's not amalgamated. So if you buy 100 shares of A at 10 o'clock in the morning and 100 shares of A again at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, it's still considered two separate platform fees. So there's also regulatory fees that's charged by SGX. So what about for US stocks? You realize that there's a minimum also of $0.99 US, and there's also a platform fee of $1 US. So indeed, Moomoo's platform does make investing a lot easier, and if you're keen to sign up, there's actually a special promo. I don't know when you are viewing this, but as of right now, there's actually a free Apple share if you look for the links below. So do sign up, do deposit at 2007, and you'll get credited with the Apple share in due time. So if you benefited, smash the like button, and I'll see you in a future video. Take care and goodbye.